Hi, Dhirendra. Now, you always suggest that short-term investors who are sure of their time horizon should use FMPs. But given the sheer number of FMPs in the market, how should an investor go about picking the right FMP?
When choosing an FMP, you don't have a track record because these are closed-end funds, they are launched, and you don't have anything to go by. But the only thing you can go by is similar FMPs managed by managed by the same fund family, how it has done. And to that end, we have done a study in terms of how the FMPs of fund families, various fund houses, they have done, and that is bucketed, that is classified into three categories. One is very short-term FMPs, medium-term FMPs, and long-term FMPs. And we have tried to establish how their track record is, because my sense is that the business variables which drive the management or the performance of FMP and the expense trend which is reflected in the aggregation of these performance, that surely is one of the factors. Of course, it is of limited use, it is all past performance, but that is the only pointer, and that should be the basis of judging how the FMP managed by the same fund family. Because if you have, say a 2-year FMP, which has been floated by 4 fund companies, I would like to go for one which has superior track record in terms of the previous FMP.
Dhirendra, since there isn't much of difference between the returns of some debt funds, how much of a difference is there between the returns of a good FMP and a badly managed one?
There is a difference. There is a difference, and however nominal, sometimes it could be, it looks nominal, but in terms of relative scale, it could be quite meaningful. Let me just illustrate you with this, with an example. Assuming that one FMP gives you 10%, another FMP gives you 9%. So at the face of it, it just might look like a nominal difference in return. But the one which is, compared to 9%, the one which is giving 10% is giving you nearly 11% more returns. So earning 11% more could be quite meaningful. Of course, all other variables will remain the same. And the primary driver of performance of FMP is the scale, which could be a business issue. If a large FMP, it can actually settle for lower expenses and can have superior bargaining power. That could be an advantage, and that is generally reflected in the older track record.
Okay, Dhirendra, I think we've got time to slip in one viewer query, and it's from Kumar S in Bangalore. He saves about 50,000 rupees per month. He wants to get the best option to maximize his investment with a bit of safety. What would you recommend?
I would like to, somebody like you must have a plan. 50,000 rupees a month lying in the savings bank account may not be productive. Of course, you get 4% return on that, but that is not enough. It is actually going down in value when you compare it with the prevailing inflation. So I would say that work on some plan. The money which you need in 2-3 years, that should certainly be, you should be risk averse with that, and that there the safety first principle should be followed. And that money should be into fixed income. That should be into either it can well be into a fixed deposit, it can well be into a fixed maturity plan, or depending on your time frame, choose the appropriate. And rest of it, I would say you can go conservative, even with your equity allocation or a portfolio which is combining the two. I would say that if you are investing for many years, you can well consider our growth and stable growth portfolio or the conservative portfolio. Conservative growth portfolio has a nominal allocation to equity, and our stable growth portfolio has about 70% allocation to equity. But if you are investing for next 10-15 years, that may be a conservative way of approaching equity.
Dhirendra, good chatting with you. Appreciate you taking the time out and joining us today on the Personal Finance Corner.